Hello and welcome to the daily English news program on Azerbaycan Television. With you, your host, Rövşən Məmmədov, with the most important events of the day. On August 26, President İlham and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva attended the opening of the newly rebuilt dormitory in Buzamna settlement of Khazar district, new building of the comprehensive secondary school number 216 in Gala settlement, and the inauguration of Sattar Baluzadeh Culture House in Surakhani district of Baku.
The August 26th for residents of the Buzovna village will be remembered for at least two reasons. Firstly, instead of the old residential building which had been in disrepair for many years, a new one was constructed and put into operation. And secondly, the top leadership of the country personally got acquainted with the work done. The new dormitory was built on the site of the 5-story hostel of the Bakazmash plant of AZTV Coast Transport Company, which is in emergency condition. On November 11, 2019, representatives of the Heydar Aliyev Foundation inspected the damaged building and met with the residents. It was determined that the building was in an emergency and dangerous for living condition. President İlham and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva got acquainted with the new building of the comprehensive secondary school number 216 in Gala settlement, Khazar district, Baku. The educational institution has 24 classrooms, a chemical, biological and physical laboratory, classrooms for labor and military training, a computer science room, sports and assembly halls, a library, a dressing room and canteen. At the 624-seat school, video surveillance systems and fiber optic internet were installed. President İlham and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva also got acquainted with Sattar Baluzadeh Culture House in Surakhani district, Baku. The House of Culture, named after the world-famous brushmaster Sattar Baluzadeh, is ready to host any modern cultural event. The infrastructure of the cultural center includes a concert and production hall for 612 spectators and a universal stage, rehearsal rooms for a dance ensemble and military orchestra, rooms for soloist rehearsals, a dressing room and other premises. Thus, today's opening ceremonies also contain the main components of socially oriented policy, infrastructure projects aimed at improving the living conditions of the population, improving the quality of education and cultural events. There is a principle in the investment policy of the Azerbaijani state that is above the challenges of the market economy, first improving the welfare of citizens. Normally, people are used to celebrate holidays, especially birthdays, with their family, and the head of state and the first lady on their birthdays are always surrounded by citizens. They accept the first congratulations and a wish from them. And this tradition continues. Celebrating her birthday on August 26, First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva was with the people again, next to representatives of vulnerable sectors of society, because every representative of a nation is also a member of the country's leadership family.
President İlham gave an interview to the MGIMO journal on the occasion of the 70th anniversary of the birth of the rector of Moscow State Institute of International Relations, Anatoly Tarkunov. In the interview, the head of state said Moscow State Institute of International Relations is one of the leading universities not only in Russia but also in the world, with deep and lasting traditions. Recognizing Anatoly Vasilyevich Tarkunov as a public figure and scientist known not only in Russia but also far beyond its borders, President İlham noted Tarkunov's great contributions to the formation and development of this institution of higher education as one of the most authoritative centers for training highly qualified diplomatic personnel. Remembering the times they used to work at the same department together with Anatoly Tarkunov, President İlham characterized Tarkunov as highly qualified diplomat, scientist and leader, a very open, benevolent and pleasant person to communicate with. About 15 years of my life were associated with MGIMO. This includes studies, then a postgraduate course and then teaching. Those are unforgettable years of youth and formation, said the head of state, stressing that the knowledge he received at MGIMO helps him in his work to this day. President İlham mentioned the first forum of graduates of this university, which took place by his initiative in Baku several years ago. He expressed that policy of Heydar Aliyev continues in our country today, thanks to which Azerbaijan has emerged as an independent state, taken a worthy place on the world map, established public and political stability in the country, created a solid foundation for large-scale transformations, attracted billions of foreign investments, identified the main directions of domestic and foreign policy, and that Azerbaijan is successfully developing in all areas now. Stating that Azerbaijan today is recognized as one of the world's centers of multiculturalism, as country in geographical, cultural and political bridge between Europe and Asia, President İlham Aliyev informed about our country hosting prestigious events on a variety of worldwide topics, our country being the initiator of numerous vital international events regarding COVID-19, and talked about international solidarity which our country displayed during the pandemic. The head of state reminded that he had to leave the institute where he studied, completed a graduate school and worked for about 15 years at the very beginning of the 1990s. The reason for this was that his father, Heydar Aliyev, took a principled position against the erroneous domestic and foreign policy of the then leadership of the USSR. President İlham Aliyev emphasized that the nationwide leader was persecuted. A frenzied campaign of libel and slander was waged against him in the Soviet media. Exactly for that reason, the MGIMO management informed that Heydar Aliyev's son cannot teach at this university. President İlham Aliyev noted that in that difficult time, Anatoly Vasilyevich always provided him with moral support. Pointing out that Leyla Aliyeva has also graduated from Moscow State Institute of International Relations, informed that Leyla Aliyeva is the president of the Azerbaijan MGIMO Club and is the chairperson of the Council of Azerbaijan Alumni, that in 2015, in recognition of her contributions to the strengthening of friendship and cooperation with the Russian Federation, the development of economic ties, the preservation and popularization of the Russian language and culture abroad, by decree of the President of Russia, Leyla Aliyeva was awarded the Order of Pushkin, and the high award was presented to her personally by Vladimir Putin. The head of state stressed that for the projects implemented by the Heydar Aliyev Foundation, of which Leyla Aliyeva is the vice president, in this Russian region she was awarded the Order of Merit for the Astrakhan region. In the same 2013, by an order of the Patriarch of Moscow, All Russia Kirill, she was also awarded the Order of the Holy equal to the Apostles Princess Olga of third degree. In conclusion, President İlham Aliyev conveyed his best wishes on the occasion of the 70th anniversary of Anatoly Tarkunov and 75th anniversary of MGIMO. Azerbaijan's first vice president, president of the Heydar Aliyev Foundation, Mehriban Aliyeva, with her persistent and multifaceted activity, serves national spiritual ideals, humanistic philanthropic values, and brings great benefits to the people and the state. She also sets the goal of uniting efforts in the pursuit of peace, stability, multiculturalism in the civilized world. In a word, the implementation of higher ideas aimed at the progress of mankind.
The First Lady of Azerbaijan, Mehriban Aliyeva, whose primary mission is loyally serving the state, homeland and people, she successfully represents the personality of the Azerbaijani women in the world and stands for the rise of beloved Azerbaijan, its successful representation on international scale and well-being of the native people. In assessing the status of the First Lady as an opportunity to help people with their problems, Mehriban Aliyeva actively participates in the social and political life of the country, confirms that the First Lady is not only the spouse of the head of state who accompanies him on trips around the country, foreign visits, but the status has big responsibilities and important tasks with which she skillfully copes. Establishing the Friends of Azerbaijani Culture Charitable Foundation in 1995, the First Lady embarked on a noble mission to popularize the material and spiritual values of our people. A significant indicator of this activity can be seen in the example of the Heydar Aliyev Foundation assurance. She focused her attention to education, schools, healthcare, children's health and cultural programs. Projects for the construction of schools, the reconstruction of preschool educational institutions, programs to support the development of orphanages, boarding schools, the construction of new children's institutions have led to serious qualitative changes in this area. The First Lady made a tradition of social care for children deprived of parental care, revitalized the charitable movement in the country, turned the Heydar Aliyev Foundation into an address of kindness and mercy not only in Azerbaijan but also abroad. We direct our attention to the elimination of unsolved problems in the country, based on the traditions of charity and mercy which have centuries-old roots in Azerbaijan. We try to be close to everyone who needs help, said First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva. protection and widespread popularization of Azerbaijani culture, music, cultural heritage, traditions and customs in the world are among the highest goals of Mehriban Aliyeva. As a result of its multifaceted activities, tangible and intangible samples of the cultural heritage of our country were included to the UNESCO representative list. Mugham turned into world music. The First Lady provides great support into the restoration and construction of sanctuaries, mosques, religious monuments in the country, makes a great contribution to the popularization of tolerance and intercultural dialogue. On her initiative, churches and synagogues are being successfully reconstructed. Large-scale humanitarian and social projects in different countries, great support at the international level for the protection of the world heritage, restoration of historical monuments turned the First Lady into plenipotentiary representative of the humanitarian and cultural diplomacy of Azerbaijan. Her strong organizational skills also played a special role in organizing large-scale events in our country. Her devoted work as a chair of the organizing committee of the first European Games was highly appreciated by people. This was evident at the fourth Games of Islamic Solidarity as well. Her appointment as the first Vice President of Azerbaijan upon the presidential decree on February 21, 2017 was positively received in the country. Immediately after appointment, she began to work even more decisively, devoted the first meeting to the problems of refugees and internally displaced persons, focused on addressing these issues. Dear mothers, dear sisters, I love you very much. I will do my best for you. I've come to talk with you and to know your problems. I promise both the President and myself are at your side, said First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva. She highly honors the memory of the martyrs who sacrificed their lives for the motherland. The first Vice President pays special attention and care to the families of martyrs, carries out important measures to restore the health of officers and soldiers wounded in the defense of Azerbaijan's independence. She is the keeper of a home, a caring daughter, wife, a mother, and a grandmother. Her personality and activities are also at the center of the world's attention. The awarding of the honorary titles of UNESCO and ICSK Goodwill Ambassador to her is a manifestation of this attention. Her brilliant success is reflected in her numerous prestigious awards. Mehriban Aliyeva is a great political figure, but for her the biggest policy is to sacrifice for the people's happiness. As Mehriban Aliyeva says, the biggest award is the love, faith and trust of the people.
Azerbaijani Foreign Minister Ceyhun Bayramov met with his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov within the framework of an official visit to the Russian Federation. First, a one-on-one meeting took place, then with the participation of delegations. After the expanded meeting, heads of the foreign affairs agencies held a joint press conference following the negotiations. During the briefing, the foreign ministers of Azerbaijan and Russia reported that the parties discussed bilateral cooperation in various fields, interaction in the fight against the coronavirus pandemic, and the settlement of the Armenian-Azerbaijani Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that Russia will continue its efforts to resolve the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, both in the national format and within the framework of the OSCE Minsk Group co-chairs. 148 cases of the novel coronavirus were recorded in Azerbaijan. 91 people recovered after treatment and were released home. One citizen who earlier tested positive for COVID-19 died. The overall confirmed cases in Azerbaijan have reached 35,707, with 33,281 recoveries and 522 deaths. The number of active infections is 1,904. To detect new infection cases, 892,070 tests have been conducted in Azerbaijan so far, reported the task force under the Cabinet of Ministers. That was all for the day. Thank you for being with us and see you next time.